It was 6:35 p.m. when the soft red and blue flashes broke the calm in Densbury County, Virginia. Elijah Monroe saw the lights in his rearview mirror just as he was coasting past a row of identical houses nestled in a quiet suburban pocket. The sun was melting into the tree line, that golden hour stretch lighting rooftops with the kind of warmth that made you forget anything could go wrong in a place like this. But something was already going wrong. Elijah wasn't speeding. He wasn't blasting music. He wasn't even talking on the phone. He was driving a black Dodge Charger, clean, low profile, moving at 28 miles per hour through a zone marked for 30. There were kids on bikes, a couple sprinklers ticking lazily across driveways, and someone grilling out 2 blocks away. He just finished a 12-hour shift briefings, strategy meetings, endless paperwork with the Joint Federal Task Force out of Norfolk. No field work. No threats. Just reports, coffee gone cold, and deadlines. Now, with less than 20 minutes from home in Petersburg, Elijah found himself pulling to the curb on a street he didn't recognize. He shut off the engine, rolled the window halfway down, placed both hands deliberately on the steering wheel. He knew what to do. Move slow. Be clear. Look non-threatening. It was absurd, of course. He was a federal agent, not a threat. But in America, that didn't always matter. Not if your skin looked like his. Not if your car looked too nice for the neighborhood. The patrol SUV came to a stop inches behind him. No siren, just presence. The driver's door opened, and a white male officer stepped out stocky, roughly 6 foot, sunglasses still on despite the fading light. His right hand hovered a little too close to the holster on his hip. He approached with a straight, tight-lipped line of a mouth and no introduction. "You live around here?" the officer asked. Elijah didn't turn his head. "Yes," he replied calmly. "License and registration." "Sure." Elijah nodded slowly. "My wallet's in my jacket, passenger seat. Registration's in the glove compartment." "I'll reach slowly." The officer didn't confirm. He didn't nod. He just stared, as if daring him to move. Elijah moved anyway, deliberate and smooth. First the wallet, then the registration. He placed them both on the dashboard before handing them over. "What's the stop for, officer?" Elijah asked. "You were creeping through the neighborhood," the man replied. "Creeping?" Elijah raised an eyebrow. "I was doing 28. Just trying to get home. Looking at houses. Someone called it in." "You got something in the car I should know about?" the officer asked. Elijah blinked. "No, sir." "You acting nervous." "I am tired. Been working since 7 this morning. I like to go home." "Step out of the vehicle." Elijah paused. "On what grounds?" "I gave you a command." He took a breath. The situation was unraveling fast. "Officer," Elijah said carefully, reaching toward the passenger seat, "I'm with the FBI. Badge and ID are in my wallet. I'm a federal agent." "I don't care who you say you are," the officer snapped. "Out of the car. Now." Elijah opened the wallet, held it up through the window, badge gleaming in the golden light. "Special Agent Elijah Monroe. Norfolk Field Office. I'm not a threat. I'm just trying to get home." The officer didn't even glance at the badge. He pressed the mic on his shoulder. "Got a male refusing to comply. Claims to be FBI. Requesting backup." Elijah's jaw tightened. This wasn't confusion anymore. It was choice. The officer's name tag read, Keller. Brian Keller. Mid-rank, not green, but not command either. The type who thought the uniform meant he never had to be questioned. "I'm not going to ask you again," Keller snapped. "Out of the car. Hands where I can see them." Elijah stared directly at him. "I've already identified myself. You haven't told me why I'm being detained. You haven't looked at my credentials. You think that fake badge gives you a free pass?" Elijah didn't respond. He just unbuckled his seatbelt slowly, pushed the door open, and stepped out with his hands up. "I'm complying," he said, voice like steel. "But I'm telling you now, this is being reviewed. Every move you make." Keller's hand shot out, shoving him in the shoulder. Not enough to drop him just to show dominance. "I'm not warning you as a civilian," Elijah said, his voice low, calm. "I'm warning you as a federal agent." "You threatening me?" Keller puffed. "No, that's a fact." Without another word, Keller spun him around and slapped a cuff onto his wrist. Across the street, A garden hose went limp in a woman's hands. A man walking his Labrador stopped. Phones appeared. A teen on a porch hit record. "I want to be very clear," Elijah said, loud and clear. "I am Special Agent Elijah Monroe of the FBI. I have not resisted. This detainment is unlawful." "Keep talking," Keller muttered. "We'll see what the report says when you're in the back of my cruiser." Backup was already in, route ETA, 2 minutes. Keller forced Elijah to the hood of his own car, the second cuff too tight. On cue, 2 more cruisers turned the corner. From the first stepped a woman mid-40s, sharp-eyed, brunette hair pulled tight, her posture exuding authority. Lieutenant Tessa Ward. She surveyed the scene in seconds. Black man cuffed next to a federal ID on the hood of a car. White officer full of adrenaline. Neighbors filming from all angles. "Status," Ward demanded. Suspect claimed to be FBI. Refused orders. Acting suspicious. Ward stepped forward, eyes catching the badge. She flipped it open. Her reaction was instant. "Special Agent Monroe?" she asked. "That's correct," Elijah replied evenly. Ward's face didn't change much, but her voice did. "You cuffed a federal agent?" He refused commands. Driving slow. Looked suspicious. She turned cold. "Which part of protocol says ignore ID and detain without verifying?" "He had an attitude," Keller muttered. Ward stepped closer. "And what crime is attitude?" Silence. "Dominguez," she called to a nearby officer. "Uncuff him." Elijah's wrist throbbed as the cuffs came off. Red, raw marks already forming. "Are you carrying?" she asked. "I'm off duty." "No weapon." Keller tried again. "With all due respect," Lieutenant was vague. "I was following up on a call." "Was the vehicle stolen?" She cut him off. "No." "Was he aggressive?" "No." "Did he resist?" "He had an attitude." Her stare made him shrink. "Body cam." "Now." Keller shuffled off. Ward turned to Elijah. "You saved him." He was 1 second away from making this a very different memory. "Too many officers think control equals authority," Elijah said. "But law comes before ego." When Keller returned with his cam footage, Ward reviewed it in silence. Elijah's calm voice played again. His lawful commands. The badge shown, ignored. Ward didn't yell. She didn't need to. "You escalated without cause," she said. "Detained a federal officer. Ignored ID. That's not just a violation, it's misconduct." Keller fumbled for words. He was challenging me." "You mean he didn't grovel?" Ward corrected. "And that scared you?" The teenager from the porch came closer. Elijah asked quietly, "You record everything?" "Every second," the boy said. "Good. Keep it safe." Ward didn't hesitate. "Officer Keller, you're being relieved of duty pending investigation." Keller blinked. "Wait, what?" "Internal Affairs will see the footage. You're being taken in. Standard protocol. Miranda rights included." Dominguez paused. "Ma'am, are you saying?" "Yes." "Arrest him." The handcuffs clicked again, this time around Keller's wrists. The sound cut through the neighborhood like thunder. No shouting, just disbelief. "You assaulted a federal agent and falsified your report," Ward said. Keller stared at the ground. His illusion of power gone in 20 minutes. Elijah stood quietly, watching, not with vengeance, but with clarity. "Captain Ward," he said, "I want access to all the footage. Bureau channels will follow up." "You'll have it." The boy approached again. "You didn't yell," he said. "You stayed calm." "I shouldn't have to yell to survive," Elijah said. "But sometimes survival depends on silence." "What's your name?" he asked. "Tayot." "Well, TJ, keep that video." "Not for me. For you." Ward stepped over. "You want to file an internal complaint?" "I'll handle it through the Bureau," Elijah said. "But I'll be at your station tomorrow." She nodded. "We'll be ready." As he drove home, sore and emotionally drained, Elijah knew something had shifted. This wasn't just another incident. It was a moment of reckoning. By morning, the video had gone viral. Headlines exploded. Federal agent wrongfully detained. Officer arrested by own department. FBI agence de calme, expose corruption. Keller was suspended, then formally charged. Unlawful detainment, use of force, protocol breach. Lieutenant Tessa Ward was promoted. A reform division was created under her leadership. De-escalation training became mandatory. A civilian board was approved by the county. TJ uploaded the video to a small channel. It hit 500,000 views within days. He called it "How Calm Fights Back." Elijah went back to work, refusing interviews. But at the bureau, junior agents began asking not about tactics but about restraint. "How did you stay calm?" one asked. Elijah smiled faintly. "You don't stay calm because it's easy." And someone did. A boy with a phone, a woman with a badge, and a man who chose strength through stillness. Because justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers just enough to be heard by those finally ready to listen.